John Lennon famously said, "Part of me suspects I'm a loser, and the other part of me thinks I'm God Almighty." Now, if arguably the greatest songwriter of the 20th century has these thoughts and feelings, what does that mean for us mere mortals? Well, as it turns out, we have exactly the same mindset. We have on the one side a crushing sense of low self-esteem, matched by a feeling that anything is possible. And these two mindsets create a tension. Now, add all the people in your circle, the people around you, your family, your friends, your colleagues, and they add to this tension. Because in your circle, you've got some people that support you and think positively of you. And then you have those that are negative. And these two conflicting tensions mean that you achieve nothing and you kind of meander through life. So what I'm saying to you is what you need to do is seek out more people who are positive and support you and push you, and get rid of those people who are negative and hold you back. So I'm trying to make a case for curating your circles towards success. What is success? Now, when I say success, I don't mean $1 million, $1 billion. What I mean is reaching your true potential, pushing yourself to the absolute limit of your potential, and leading a fulfilled life. So there are three areas that you need to curate your circles. One is home, one is a passion, and one is a venture. Let's start with home, because it's the one closest to home, and it's the one that we can all relate to. The thing with the people that are in our home circles, which is family, friends, colleagues, it's very hard to change them if they're negative. So what I'm saying is exchange them. So we've got those that we need to dump and avoid, and they are people who ridicule your dreams. That it's all about them rather than about your dream. That the manipulators, constantly manipulating the environment. The conflict creator, the controller, the person who wants you to do everything their way. And of course, the always negative. And I know if you just think of your friends and family, you know those people. And we've got to dump or avoid them and seek out people who make you laugh. Laughter is about optimism. Laughter is about hope. Then we need a cheerleader. And a cheerleader should be your most intimate relationship. This is either your husband, your wife, your lover, your confidant, your best friend. And they should be the person who's saying, you can do it, go for it. But more importantly than you can do it, go for it. It's actually when you fail, when you make a mistake, that they're there to support you. That's true cheerleading. When you do fall and they say, don't worry, next time it'll work. Then we need a listener, somebody to just listen. We need somebody to give us solutions. They are generally not the same person. Then we need somebody who's brutally honest with us and somebody who has history. I have a friend that I've known for 59 years. Okay, so now you have curated your home life. Now what I'm saying is you've got to pick a passion, something you're interested in, something that fascinates you, and go and seek people who share that same passion. The magic of the digital world is they can be anywhere in the world. And what you need to do is surround yourself with these people who share this passion. And what happens is you inspire them and they inspire you. And the more inspired you get, the more infectious it becomes. And then you want to learn more, and you do learn more. And then you're exposed to new thinking, and you start to grow. And what happens is, if you get the right circle, you really just get better and better. My proof of this is, again, arguably the greatest band of the 20th century, the Beatles. The Beatles were made up of 4 people. Ringo Starr, who was the perfect drummer, George Harrison, who was a very talented guitarist, and then John Lennon and Paul McCartney, who were these genius songwriters. Now, in the beginning of the Beatles, George Harrison, who was a great guitarist, was not a songwriter. But slowly, just by being in this environment of these genius people, he started to discover songwriting. And slowly but surely, each album, they kind of let him have one. And then they let him have another one on the next album. By the time the Beatles broke up, George Harrison had so much music in him that he released a triple LP set called All Things Must Pass. That is now considered a masterpiece. Just by being around these people, he reached in and discovered supreme talent. So once you have the right circle, you're going to want to start doing something with it. You want to do something fulfilling. And fulfillment is very important. We tend to, in society, chase happiness. But happiness is fleeting. But fulfillment lasts longer. And what we do know is to achieve fulfillment, which then leads on to happiness, is you need to be doing something you enjoy. You need to get satisfaction of doing it. And then, of course, the purpose of doing it. Those three elements create fulfillment. Fulfillment creates happiness. So now you want to do something with it. You're going to start a venture. Some sort of thing with this passion that you have. So I just want to talk about, again, the venture. It's not the next Facebook, but this is some student work. And this student had touched cancer in her family. And so she invented this app where you first select the type of cancer you have, because there's so many. And then the next thing is you select the kind of support you want. And then this app connects you with that. Now, out of this, I then contacted my friend, who is Convertish, who actually runs this cancer organization where they visualize cancer for patients to try and mentally overcome cancer. Now, this student is now connected with a person high up in the cancer support circles. So already she's now in the right circles. On a more flippant note, is the student, and I love this idea, is when you are in your Karen moment, and you're having a Karen moment, I did one last night, you take your phone and you shout your rant into the phone. And then AI turns it into a rap song, which you can then put on any social media. And you know, it would be cathartic. I think it's a great idea. Now imagine her as she wants to take this further. Now she gets in touch with some rappers in Detroit, and maybe then off to Chicago. And it's not a hop, skip, and a jump, and she may be in a recording studio with Jay-Z in LA. It's the circles again. So if you're doing a venture, very rarely will you do a venture where it's just you. It will involve people. And again, those circles that you build around you is very important. To my mind, these are the people that you need. You need the vision person, the ideas person, and if it's your passion project, your idea, well, that's you. But you need a communicator that glues all these people together. You need a planner, and you need somebody to get stuff done. And then lastly, you always need the brakes. And what do I mean by the brakes? This is a person who's cautious, not negative cautious. Why? Because actually when you're doing a venture, you're in a state of mind that's close to love. And all of you, when you first fell in love, did you notice all the red flags? Of course not. It's the same with a venture. So you need some person who's constantly saying, hey, maybe we shouldn't do that. But what they all need to be is believers. We are very fragile people. We need people to believe. And when they believe, anything is possible. Okay, how does trust fit into this? Now, trust is such a key thing because distrust robs you of energy and robs you of confidence. And as I said, it's a very fragile thing, confidence. You can't run a business or a venture when you're looking over your shoulder. You have to look forward because trust gives you courage. My analogy is a little kid climbs up a tree, can't get down, calls mom or dad. Mom or dad come out, open their arms. What does the kid do? Jumps. Because the kid knows mom or dad will catch you. It's the same thing. If the circle around you, you trust them and they trust you, it gives you courage to fly. But you only need it in home and you only need it in venture. Your passion circle, it's about the common interest. You don't need trust there. Okay, so hopefully I've convinced you that you're going to leave here and you've got to go and clean out your circle of friends and you've got to say goodbye to a few people. But how do you do that? It's so hard to go no contact. Is super, super difficult. It's very draining. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out various ways you can do it. I'm going to start with silly, which is the first thing, is lend them money, and they'll avoid you. Then you can move to a different city or marry a foreigner in another country. But those aren't really addressing the issue. I think truthful is always good. And what you need to do is find a way to be truthful where that person understands, but you're doing it in a way that saves them. So we can start off by going, oh, we must do dinner sometime once things settle down. They know. Or going a little bit more truthful, I'm going through some stuff. I'll be in touch when I sort myself out. Here's the one that you really need. I'm reinventing myself. It's going to take some time. I may see you on the other side. They know. They know you've given them the truth, but in a way that they self-respect, or in Asian terms, they save face. Now you're free to go on, to live your life in its fullest potential. But don't listen to me. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a sociologist. I'm just a meanderer who's seen a lot. Thank you.